Should be good to go. Going live. What is going on YouTube? And welcome back to my channel, JoJo Speaks. Thank y'all so much for joining us for mine and Dustin's review for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. This is the tell-all.
The
And this
final
is
part of
part
the tell-all.
4. Yes, the final
Yes.
part of the tell-all, part 4.
Yes.
Be sure to subscribe to my channel. Press that big subscribe button. It is free and easy to do. Takes less than a second to match that thing. So go ahead and match it for a brother. Also, be sure to leave this video a thumbs up. Let me know you're enjoying the content that I'm putting out on my channel. Also, be sure to leave a comment. Let me know your thoughts on the various couples that we're discussing on this final part of the tell-all. And also, be sure to press the notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And last but not least, be sure to share JoJo Speaks with all your family, friends, and loved ones. Let everybody know JoJo Speaks is out here in these YouTube streets. I got my boy Dustin back with me. How you doing, Dustin?
We're doing pretty good. Everything we're going through right now, but we're going through it, and thanks for the whole entire team, for Jonathan and everybody else. So thanks for that as well, Jonathan. And we're going to continue to move forward as we always do. So thanks for everybody for being here.
Absolutely. And my phone just went off. Let me make sure to put my phone on silent. We got Auntie Robin in the comment section. Hey, Auntie Robin. So glad that you were here. Auntie Robin says, good evening, weighing in from the new device. All right, Auntie Robin, come on, upgrade. Love to see that.
Yes.
So there really wasn't much to talk about during the final during the final part of the tell-all. Now, when they come back from the house, Sean Robinson asked, Jasmine, asked the entire group, what happened? Did anything of importance happen while you guys were at the house? And then Jovi speaks up and says, "Tell him, Jasmine. Tell him what happened." And so Jasmine reveals to everyone that she did not know that there was going to be a deadline or an expiration date as to Jasmine making her relationship with Matt official. I don't think that that's going to, me personally, I don't think that's ever going to happen. Jasmine said that she literally said that she never wants to get married again. And I think that should tell Matt all that he needs to know as far as Jasmine's commitment is concerned.
Right.
And there was a lot of stuff that Jasmine did that really ticked me off on this final part of the tell-all. And we'll get to that a little bit later once we get to what happened after the tell-all was done filming. But, Matt is really fed up. And, I hope that Matt takes and I just feel, I say this all the time, children are a gift from God. Children are always a blessing. However, on the flip side of that, I do feel bad for Matt because of this child, Matilda, that he has with Jasmine. He's literally tied legally to Jasmine for the next 18 years. And I just feel so bad for Matt that he got into this situation, and it's just very unfortunate. But they get back to Elizabeth and Andre. So Elizabeth and Andre have a little bit of a discussion concerning the fact that Andre wants to go back to his home country, and Elizabeth is like, "That's not happening. No, it's not happening whatsoever." And Andre was sort of kind of telling the other guys. I think he was talking to Jovi or Alexi.
It was Jovi.
It was Jovi. Okay. Told Jovi that he is going to give Elizabeth an ultimatum. If you don't agree to, I think he lives in Bulgaria, if I'm not mistaken. If she does not agree to move back to his home country, they can just split up. Now they do have kids. I think they have 2 kids right now. And so it was really interesting to me that they're throwing these words around about breaking up and getting a divorce when there are children involved. But it does not seem that, they really consider the children in these decisions that they're making. And I did not realize until watching this tell-all that Yara and Jovi have a child as well. We did not see, in the episodes that Justin and I watched this season, we did not see their child whatsoever. And there was a discussion about Jovi and Yara possibly having another child. But, Yara seems not to want to have another child. And, they said, well, maybe if Jovi changes his career, then maybe she would consider because, right now, Jovi is working a lot. and Yara is doing a lot of the parenting at this moment, and she does not want to have to add another child to that parenting. And so,
Mhm.
we really didn't get from the episodes that we watched, Justin. We really
Mhm.
didn't get an idea
Mhm.
of the energy between Elizabeth and Andre. But what was
Sure.
your thoughts of Andre being so hell bent on moving back to his home country and really not caring whether Elizabeth wants to do it or not?
Uh, I think um, I think that Audrey has a rude awakening coming. I think that he has a. I don't think this is going to work out, Jonathan. I hope it don't for the best, but you just never know how it's going to be with these couples, especially Elizabeth and Andre. But I think we're going to see this play out in the new season of 90 Day Fiance: The Last Resort because they're one of the couples that's going to be filming the new season. So I think we're going to see it play out there, but I don't think it's going to work out. I think that Elizabeth deserves better because I don't think Audrey understands how much he really does affect Elizabeth. Because she really changed when they first got married. So I can see it that it's starting to affect her to a certain degree, and it's hard because it's going to be harder on her now because her dad passed away.
Right.
Her dad passed away, so she don't have her dad to be there for her, uh, Jonathan. So it's hard for her to go through something like this, and I feel like she's alone in this situation, and that's just how I feel because you don't have your own. She don't have her own dad because her and her dad were very close. He was even on the show a lot. So it's sad to say it, but rest in peace to Chuck, her dad, Chuck. But that's just sad. It's sad because it does affect her, and it's going to affect Audrey as well. But I don't know what's going to happen. I don't think it's going to work out.
Right. Yeah. I'm not sure where that's going to go. I'm not surprised that he said what he said, because he seems to kind of be the one that likes to be in control. So that doesn't surprise me whatsoever. We got
Mm-hmm.
a new commenter here, saying hello. I'm sorry. For some reason, when I pull up your comment, I don't have the best vision, so I honestly cannot see what your name is. But I do have your comment listed on the screen. So hello to you, and thank you so much for joining us. Hope you
Hello.
come more often. I love to see new commenters in the building. So thank you so much for being here. And then we have another comment from Auntie Robin. We'll see what else Auntie Robin has to say. Hold on, let
Mm-hmm.
me get this up here. And Auntie Robin says they aren't considering the children because they aren't as as lucrative as being on TLC. Yeah, exactly. The kids really don't make them the money, and so yeah, they're really not considering the children and the decisions that they're making concerning
Mm-hmm.
these types of things. And so, Auntie Robin also says, "Do you believe that they are serious about divorce? Uh, those two those two miscreants are made for each other. Who else
Mm-hmm.
would have their miserable asses? That's very true. And yeah, a lot of times when some of these couples bring up the topic of divorce, typically don't believe them because I feel as though they're bringing up those questions just to add drama to their storyline. So yeah, and
Mm-hmm.
like you said, Auntie Robin, those miscreants. Um, they deserve each
Mm-hmm.
other. There are two peas in a pod. They are exactly alike. And so, like you said, Auntie Robin, I don't know if anyone else would want to be with them.
No, I'll say
Auntie
something.
Robin also
Uh,
says,
Go ahead.
"Oh, go ahead."
No, I was going to say I have to agree. I have to disagree with Auntie Robin on that one because I do feel like the situation is getting worse as you go along with Audrey. So I do think that Elizabeth is going to finally hit her breaking point one of these times, and I feel like her breaking point is coming closer. So sorry, I have to disagree with you on that one, but that's my opinion on that one, Auntie Robin. Hmm.
And Auntie Robin also says, Dustin, did I hear somewhere that that Elizabeth and Andre got dismissed, i.e., fired? Did you hear that, Dustin, at all? I haven't heard that.
No, no, no. I said they're filming for the last resort. Hmm.
Okay. So they are filming for The Last Resort. So I guess they are technically still together. So we'll see what
We'll see what
happens.
happens. We'll see what happens when that season premieres
All right. And
next
I'm
early next year.
absolutely. And our new commenter says, how are you doing? We're doing well. Thank you so much for being here. We're currently
Yeah.
reviewing 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After the Tell All Part 4.
Mhm.
And so then we get to this woman who is Lauren's best friend, who comes out.
I can't remember her name, but I
Her
can't
name
remember
is
her name.
Noga. Her name
Noka.
is
No.
Noga.
Okay.
Nog. Well, I put it down Noga. I'm not sure exactly if that's spelled. I didn't see how they displayed it on the actual screen, but
Mhm.
apparently, while I think Lauren and Lexi were having a housewarming, Elizabeth and Andre were in attendance, and
Mhm.
Noga was there, and they had an argument. I can't even remember what the argument was necessarily about,
It was
per
about
se.
money. About
Okay,
money.
so it's about money. No
Yeah.
wonder. And Noga and Andre is being his overconfident self and sort of kind of over controlling self in the argument. Andre wanting things the way that he wants things, and Noga says that you don't deserve to talk to anyone. And Noga, she says some other things, and when Noga comes out, Andre completely goes off on her, and Elizabeth actually gets up and walks off of the set. And Elizabeth is really upset because she knows how Andre is. However, she doesn't appreciate what Noga said about Andre. And then Andre asks Noga for an apology, and Noga says, "An apology for what?" And here's my thing. When you say what you feel like you need to say and you mean what you say, I don't know if
Mhm.
there's an apology necessarily needed. Now, that could garner an apology of, well, if you did feel some type of way about what I said, I apologize. I didn't mean it in that way, but I meant exactly what I said because I'm only reacting off of what you're giving me. So I completely understand why Noga made the comments that she did. It's been going around that Andre is sort of kind of a piece of shit. Like Andre is not a good man. Like,
Mm.
and I've been seeing that more and more as I've been watching this 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After. Like, he's kind of a pompous prick. Like he's really not like full of himself, like thinking like he's God gift to women, but at the same time, he's sort of kind of acting that way in the same way. So it's just very interesting. It's just very interesting that Andre had this outburst with Noga. So it is what it is. But Noga gets off of the stage, and so then we get back to this conversation between Jovi and Yada. And Andre says that, well, Jovi, you told me that you would get a divorce if Yada didn't have another child. And Jovi is very silent after Andre says this. And this is a dead giveaway to me that this is very true. And Sean Robinson asked Jovi, well, did you say that? And Jovi says, well, yes, I was probably drunk and you know what I'm saying? And I was, venting at the moment. And this literally breaks Yada's heart, and she immediately starts crying. And then they also get into the conversation of Jovi making fun of the way Yada looked before she had her plastic surgery. And was it wrong for him to say, knowing that that is a very sore subject for Yada? Absolutely. Do I think he was meaningfully or intentionally trying to make Yada feel bad about herself? I do not feel like he did that because I do feel like Jovi does love Yada. I do think that he doesn't want to make her feel bad about herself. But at the same time, Jovi, you know that this is a sore subject for Yada. So why would you bring this up? Even if it wasn't intentionally to, make her feel bad about herself. But at the same time, they were drinking a little bit. And so he was inebriated. So he probably wasn't thinking straight at the moment. But, some of the other couples, like Guillermo's ex, she was saying, why would you say that when you know that's a sore subject for her? Then Jovi said, Yada is one of the most beautiful women that I've ever met in my entire life. And then Elizabeth corrects him and says, the most beautiful woman. It's like, come on, like give Jovi some credit here. Like that really, really got on my nerves. So Dustin, what were your thoughts on this whole thing with Jovi saying that he would divorce Yada, telling Andre he would divorce Yada if she didn't have a second child, and then rehashing this whole Jovi saying that Yada looked different when she was younger?
I mean, if you think if you if you feel that heavily about having a second child that you don't want one, then I think Jovi has a rude awakening coming, Jonathan, because she doesn't want a second child, and if you do, then that's just it's a breaking point for some people, and I hope that they both decide what makes them happy. But whatever happens, happens, and I hope that they decide what they want for the rest of their life, because no matter what happens, it's going to affect them. It already has. It's already affected Yar. So I don't know what's going to happen between Yar and Jovi. And
Right.
I feel like this could be the end, the the beginning of the end for them too. Hmm.
I hope that it's not. And then, Andre bringing up the fact that he does not feel like Yara is in Jovi's league,
Hmm.
which, like, it's not like Jovi's an ugly man. Like, there are some other men on this panel that are not as attractive as Jovi is. And I think you all know exactly who I'm talking about when I say that. There are actually two other men on this panel that I don't think are as attractive as Jovi is. To me, Jovi looks like an Abercrombie model, at least in my opinion. He's got that baby face. He has a nice body. Like, Jovi's not just a throwaway man. Like, Jovi is an attractive man, but
Sure.
it is what it is. Attractiveness is subjective, as considering whoever it is that you're asking about. So it is what it is. So that was the end of the taping for the tell-all, and all of the
Hmm.
couples head back to the mansion before they all leave. Alexi and Lauren decide to leave immediately. Lauren does not feel comfortable staying in the house, so she wants to leave. So she's going to go ahead and peace out with Alexi. Once again, I do love Alexi. Not exactly sure how I feel about Lauren necessarily. I don't think she's a bad woman. She's just a little bit annoying to me. So she's not my favorite to watch on 90 Day Fiance. But
Hmm.
we get back to the house, everyone's drinking, having a good time, things of that nature. They asked Gino about the pair of panties that Jasmine put in his luggage. She literally took the panties straight off of her body, rubbed it on all over Gino's suitcases. And I don't remember if she actually put them in his suitcase, but Gino did have the pair of panties. And Guillermo, asked, like, are they really her panties? And Gino replied that they are wet, and they asked Gino if he did anything with the panties, and he reiterated that they were wet. And so they wanted Gino to wear the panties, and Guillermo is actually the one that put the panties on, which I thought was interesting. But Guillermo is, a fun-loving guy, so I like to see them joking around and playing around and all that good stuff.
Hmm.
So then we have Jasmine and Yara sit down, and Yara's feeling a little bit overwhelmed by this information that she learned from Jovi possibly wanting a divorce if she doesn't have a second child, and Jasmine is comforting her, which do love to see the women supporting one another. And another thing I was so glad about is not hearing Darcy's mouth this entire time. Like, Darcy has been quite subtle during this entire tell-all session. So I'm so glad
That's
that she
okay.
hasn't been talking her head off, because I would be really annoyed with Darcy if we were hearing a lot of her mouth. But then Jasmine reveals to Yada that Matt's mother told her that Matt has a Romanian woman waiting for him if things don't work out between Matt and Jasmine. And then Jasmine asked Matt, what's the case with this? Her name was Elizabeth, this Romanian woman, not the Elizabeth that's on 90 Day Fiance, but another Elizabeth from Romania. And Matt says that they had nothing to do with one another. They weren't having sex. And then Jasmine states that she feels as though Matt was having sex with Jasmine and with Elizabeth at the same time. So, Dustin, what are your thoughts on this particular revelation coming from Jasmine? Because initially I didn't believe that it was true until she confronted Matt about it later on in the tell-all, and he confirmed that it was true, that there was a Romanian woman named Elizabeth, and he was actually going to move in with her after his lease was up. But he said that they never had any sex. So what are your thoughts on that entire situation, Dustin?
Why would you keep that big of a secret for? I don't like it when anybody keeps any secrets, to just be totally honest. So, if you're gonna be with somebody, if you're gonna be with somebody, especially somebody like that, if you're gonna be in a relationship with somebody, which you need to be open and honest about what you're actually going on about, and not sit there and say that you don't going to be with anybody once you're talking about somebody else. That would kind of aggravate me to no end, Jonathan. That would aggravate me. It would make me mad. So I can imagine how he feels, and imagine the way that Jasmine feels. But I don't like it. That's the point. Like in a period to that point. Mm-hmm.
Right. We have Mamir down here in the comments saying to Auntie Robin, I had to look up miscreant. Yeah, miscreant is like, below your shoe, dirt, trash. It's a great word. It is a great word. And very sorry, a very smart sounding. Can't wait to use it. Yes, if miscreant is the first time I heard the word miscreant was in the movie First Sunday with Ice Cube and not Chris Tucker, Tracy Morgan. And in the final scene in the courtroom, the prosecutor called Ice Cube and Tracy Morgan's characters miscreants, and then Cat Williams responded, "Miscreant? I'm African American." So that's the first time I heard the word miscreant, Auntie Robin. Mamir also said, "Good evening, everyone." Good evening to you, Mamir. Thank you so much for being here, my love. Love that you are watching. Love you, girl.
Yeah.
And so, Matt and Jasmine have this conversation, and it really does put Matt in a bad light because it does make Matt seem like he's really not the type to commit, which is a great thing if your partner is not in this is not looking to commit either. If both parties in the situation are on the same terms as far as the commitment level of your relationship, then things should work out very, very well. There are some people who like open relationships. There are some people who want to be monogamous. You got to figure that kind of stuff out before you start having children, before you start having sex, before you start making things serious. We must have these conversations to set the boundaries so that everyone has a great understanding of where the both of you stand in the relationship. And so this is really making Matt look bad. This conversation that he's having with Jasmine. Auntie Robin has another comment up here. Let me see what else Auntie Robin says. Auntie Robin says to Mamir extraordinaire, I love words. Yes, we could tell, Auntie Robin, we love it when you use those good words. Miscreant, honey. And, half of these people on this 90-Day Fiance are miscreants, Auntie Robin. But, it is what it is. But, anyways, Matt has, he's being caught in a couple of lies in this moment. And, I've been rooting for Matt from the beginning. I've been rooting for Matt since he came onto the scene. And he's really making me feel bad for rooting for him to begin with. Mamir Extraordinaire also says to Auntie Robin, you definitely have an impressive vocabulary. Absolutely, she does. I just had to Google how to spell vocabulary. It's okay, Mamir, because I probably wouldn't be able to spell it off the top of my head. I'd probably have to write it down or something. But then Gino goes out to the outside area, because after Matt and Jasmine go back in and they sort of kind of go back and forth, and Matt says to Jasmine, "Why don't you just go back to Gino?" You know what I'm saying? Jasmine leaves the mansion, goes outside, and then Gino goes to run after her, and all of a sudden Gino is concerned about how Jasmine is feeling. When you first got into the mansion, you didn't even want to see Jasmine. You wanted nothing to do with Jasmine. But now all of a sudden, Gino cares about Jasmine's feelings. I have a feeling that was more production encouraging Gino to go out and talk to Jasmine, because I honestly don't believe that he would have done it on his own volition. Dustin, do you think Gino really cares about Jasmine's feelings, or do you think he
No,
was
I don't. I
kind
don't.
of told to go out there?
I think it was the production, like you said. I do agree with you on that one. I think the production was telling him what to do on that part.
Yeah. Jasmine tells Gino the most hurtful thing that she heard Gino say was that Gino felt like Jasmine never loved him, for sure. Like he feels like she never loved him. And Jasmine says these things as Matt is walking out of the mansion. And she tells Gino that she doesn't think that she'll ever love another man the way that she loved Gino. She says that she was obsessed with Gino. And I would agree that Jasmine made it seem like she was obsessed with Gino. I will agree with that. Now, whether that obsession was genuine or authentic, I'm not sure. I can't say for sure. Only Jasmine can answer that question honestly and truthfully. But what she's saying to Gino does sound accurate in the moment. And then Matt walks up and says, Jasmine, are you ready to go? Let's go back to the hotel. Let's go. And so then Matt tells production that Jasmine had been going up to New York a lot by herself, and he felt like her ex from Panama, I think his name was Nate, possibly
It
lives
was
up in
Day. His name Day.
Dave. Okay.
Yeah.
And so apparently, Matt is now thinking that this other man from New York could possibly be the father of the child. And so when Jasmine and Matt are heading back to the hotel, Matt and Jasmine are, arguing back and forth. And Matt says, is the child even mine? And Jasmine says, like, what the F did you just say? What the F did you just say? And then, Jasmine goes on to say, well, no, the baby is Gino's. Gino's the father. And Matt is actually crying because he's like, I'm going to look like a fool on TV if this child isn't even mine. Now, me personally, I choose to believe that the child is more than likely Matt's. Now, I can't say that for sure because I'm not a DNA tester. I can't say for sure whether the child is Matt's or not. Matt mentions that the child has blonde hair, and apparently Jasmine's ex has blonde hair as well. And neither Matt nor Jasmine have blonde hair. So that is a very, very valid question that Matt is asking whether the child is his or not. Now, we all know that hair color can be hereditary, like it can, possibly skip a generation. Maybe your father or grandfather possibly has that hair color that you didn't, that you didn't cultivate your on your own. So yeah, I hope that Matt leaves Jasmine. I hope that he leaves Jasmine. I don't know where Jasmine is going to go, whether she's going to go back to Panama. I'm not sure, but Matt clearly understands now that he has no business being with Jasmine. So where do you think Jasmine and Matt are going to go from here, Dustin, before we get out of here?
Nowhere. They're not going to go nowhere. I hope Jasmine. I hope Matt realizes that he deserves better, and I hope that he leaves her. But honestly, I don't know what's going to happen between any of these couples. To be honest, we just go off what we see, and hopefully, we hope for the better. We hope for the best, and we pray for them. That's all we can do. To be honest, but
Right.
we're gonna hope for the best, and hope that they realize that they deserve better.
Absolutely, Justin. I completely agree with you. I hope Matt leaves Jasmine. I truly do think that he's better off on his own. And, I think he needs to understand and realize for himself what he wants in a relationship, even if he wants a relationship, because not everyone wants to be in a committed relationship. Some people just want to go out there and do their own thing with other single people. And that's great if that works for you. But once again, if you're going to get into a relationship, you must set the boundaries from the get-go so that you are both on the same page and there are no misunderstandings later on down the line. So guys, that is all for 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After Season 9. Starting next week, we'll be starting before the 90 days, the new season that's starting this coming Sunday, I believe, if I'm not mistaken.
Sunday,
and so be sure to join us for that next Monday. Dustin, why don't you go ahead and give the good people your social media contacts real quick?
My social media contacts are Dustin Butler 700. My Facebook is Dustin Butler. I want to thank Jonathan for always being here, as always, and thank you for always being here, everybody, the whole team. I don't know if anybody else is behind the backstage or not today, but thank you for everybody for always being here, and I'm excited for next week, the new season, because there's a lot of changes on the next season. So hopefully, Jonathan and I will be prepared next week for a lot of changes coming up. Because there's going to be a lot of stuff going on.
Yeah, I saw the preview. I saw the preview too as well, Dustin. The preview came on right after 90 Day Fiance Happily Ever After the Tell All Part 4. So I think it's going to be interesting. Of course, with 90 Day Fiance, there's going to be a lot of drama. Be sure to join me on Thursday night at 8 p.m. Excuse me. For my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show, I go live with my sister Jennifer, aka Prophetic Fire Reiki. And sometimes our friend Bianca Edwards joins us as well. So be sure to join me on Thursday night at 8 p.m. for my Hot Topics and Social Commentary show. And also be sure to join us next week, same time, same place, same beautiful faces for our review on Before the 90 Days. Love you guys for watching. Thank you so much for being here. Hope you guys have a wonderful week. Stay warm out there because it's cold outside that door. Love y'all for watching.